Hi lads, just wanted to update you all on my quarantine diaries. Just some observations from my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 times a day that I've been going out during my quarantine. Yesterday, I was literally thinking about two situations on and off. The first one being the amount of money the government is losing / gaining, and the second one being about how my outgoings have drastically gone up due to this pandemic. Firstly, I didn't even know where to start when it comes to the economy. I'm no good with numbers and get easily confused by the zeros. Given this, I'm unable to look at the complexity of the math. Therefore, I will try and stick to explaining the visions I see in my head, which are like mind maps. That's the only way I can explain it. We all know the government is losing a shitload of money due to businesses being closed that won't pay taxation, employee tax and VAT. And we all know and are well versed in the industries this has affected, from aviation and hospitality to shops and local shops. Given this, employees / employees won't be paying tax and the government machine is instead going to give all free money. We know in our heads this is a shitload of money. What's more is they've had to apparently give the heart of our country, our NHS, a shitload of money too. And again, I'd just like to highlight we've not saw that yet, given they're wearing the most insufficient PP known to man. Basically, I could go on and on, but you all know the drill. We've heard it all and we're loving it. From the flip side, however, I do consider, although doubt, that businesses keeping us afloat may actually balance it out. I know this sounds like a long shot, but let's give Tesco as one example. If Tesco sales have gone through the roof, so much so they've had to employ more staff, that means they're paying more tax all round and VAT. Now multiply this with all the shops that are at the heart of this situation. Then I want you to consider high demand items in the stores. As an example, let's think about bog roll and hand sanitizer. Given the former was always purchased, I'm not sure if the stores are meeting the demand by ordering more loo roll, or if they are merely selling the same amount as previous years. I can't answer that yet, it's been out of stock. The demand has left shelf empty for various items, therefore they have increased their staffing, which again means taxation goes up from the employer and employee contributions combined with an increase in VAT. Now let's look at the sanitizer. Nobody bought that before this pandemic, so one can only imagine how the company feel having to meet the demand. Given it's in high demand and like gold dust, it's safe to say sales have beyond doubt skyrocketed. This is an item that has seen a rapid increase in sales growth. Again, this illustrates that their sales won't be on par with previous years, therefore taxation is up, and as taxation is up, as is employee tax and VAT. By considering every item that's now in high demand, it's evident the government machine are still pulling in a hell of a lot of cash through taxation and VAT. The only difference being it's now coming from a few companies and products. Whereas previously their revenue was accumulated from a larger number of companies and products, yet the demand was lower, but their checks are still balancing surely. Following on, what should be considered as online stores (e-commerce). whereby delivery slots, I'm told, are now booked weeks in advance. Therefore, the companies can see a projection in sales and analyse the high demand items for the foreseeable weeks/months. And we don't know if people are still selfishly buying. I'd love to say Amazon's taxation will be contributing significantly, but they don't pay tax because they are the black sheep for some unbeknownst reason. However, their employees pay tax, and again they have been doing a massive recruitment drive. However, there are countless other stores who provide e-commerce. There are countless other stores who provide e-commerce that do pay tax. Given all this, again, it sounds to me like the books balance at the government's end. It doesn't look like there's a major deficit that one would expect, does it? Now let's draw on the other ways the government can make money. Now they want to fine us up to £1,000 for being out in a fresh air, which is a God-given right, by the way. So how much will that recoup? And who knows, they may add other fines along the way as the weeks progress, such as a tax to open your window to get fresh air. If it's done more than once, that sounds ridiculous, right? Yes, seriously think about who you were 6 months ago. Now consider someone telling you that 6 months from when you would be fined for being out of your house. I'm sure you wouldn't agree. I'm sure you would agree that. I'm sure you would have agreed that it wasn't fair. Whereas now people's fear is ruling this charade, and it's given us the illusion that it's a perfectly acceptable and good law, so much so we will hold people to account as representatives of the unpaid pandemic police. Let me just give you a news flash. Being fined for being out of your house or opening your window is the same level of ridiculousness as our current experience. One is you standing outdoors and the other is standing indoors. It's the same. There was a million better ways. Yes, there's a virus in the mix, but feel free to read my other diary entries on that aspect. Now let's look at ourselves and our households. For myself, my gas has doubled. It's not going up by a little bit, it has in fact doubled. Why? Our clothing can apparently carry this deadly pathogen, so instead of doing my 2 washings a week, I've been doing them daily. I expect we're all doing that after being out. My new routine is get home, strap, clothes in washing machine, shower, then plank my arse down. What's more is, given I'm grounded, I've spent a ridiculous amount of money shopping online. This is money I would not have spent if this pandemic never broke out. Given I have to stay indoors, I've ordered stuff to keep myself occupied because I'm preempting how bad the Nazi agenda is going to go. Currently, I'm still going out, and if I need to go out 3 times a day, I bloody will. How many of yous have had to buy activities for kids or do the same for yourself because you fucking know it's not going to be for 3 weeks? That's just the let's dangle a carrot narrative so people comply. They decided that was going to be for way longer before people broke the rules. I know this factually, so let that sink in before you blame people for being out and about. Following on my bus fares, yep, you guessed it, gone up. I had to change my routine, which meant I was getting a normal bus at £1.80 and a night bus at £4 instead of my normal bus £1.80 both ways. I started walking in the end, which in fairness has been lovely. But if this is added up, including my gas over a week then a month, it's a fair wee whack of money. Now multiply for all of us in the nation who are in the same boat. And that's not taking into consideration the shopping online that I would not have done. Yep, I hear you, that's my fault, but can I just say I ain't no psychologist, but it's simple psychology that if you take shops away, people will use online stores. Usually I'd go for coffee with that money in turn, spending less and the experience lasts longer. The population of the UK is 66 million or thereabout, so how many of us are experiencing a surge in outgoings? And who benefits? Doesn't matter if my increased gas usage goes to the gas supplier, the government still benefit from employee tax and VAT. Who's getting the short end of the straw here? But hey, the government machine is tried and tested, and look at us now. That's why a new way will never be possible. Anyways, that's my 4 AM wash just done. Bye.